Shape Snatch, the most powerful monster in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And hey, stop laughing. Okay, this thing is obviously not a good card, certified dog water, but why is it then that it's become so popular? Well, at least it was a few years ago. I think we've kind of moved on from it in recent Yu-Gi-Oh! Memes. Shapesnatch debuted in the set Pharaonic Guardian, which had an original Japanese release of March 2002. But even before that, we need to rewind the clock a bit farther back to Duelist of the Roses in 2001. I've actually never played this game, I'll get to it eventually, but from what I've seen, it takes the Yu-Gi-Oh! Concept in a different direction, having monsters travel across a grid board in order to attack the opponent. Like I said, that game is a story for another day as long as you like and subscribe, but the point is that Shapesnatch appeared in this game before it was ever printed in paper. But back to that paper card, what even makes it so special? Well, absolutely nothing. It's a level 5 normal monster with 1200 attack and 1700 defense. Very pitiful even by the standards of the era it originally came out in. As long as Summon Skull and Labyrinth Wall were legal, they were the best 1 tribute normal monsters. In spite of its lack of power, the flavor text reads, "A bow tie with a horrible power, it attacks an opponent by controlling others." And now it kinda makes sense. The contrast of the low attack and supposed horrible power, the fact that the monster turns out to actually be a bow tie, and whatever is going on in this art, we can clearly see that Shapesnatch is a dumb card. The pure absurdity of early Yu-Gi-Oh! Given its final form in this monster. Whenever I saw this card art, I had no idea what I was looking at. I mean, it was obviously a monster wearing a hat, but I had thought it was facing to the left and was like tipping the fedora. We get a much better view of it in Duelist of the Roses, where it's a fully rendered 3D model. And boy, he is a lot taller than his profile picture makes it look. But now it's a lot easier to understand that this is a very large Cyclops robot thing, and as we know from the flavor text, Shapesnatch itself is the bow tie controlling the body. If I'm being honest, I kinda love the original monster, it's so goofy. The card artwork grossly misrepresents it. There is like one anime exclusive card that shows the monster's entire body, and like I would have preferred if that was just straight up the art used on the card. Though when you really think about it, the fact that the actual monster is the bow tie controlling everything, I guess it makes sense for the art to be so zoomed in. And so this funny useless card began gaining a reputation in the online circles of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community for just how hilarious the whole thing was, arguably reaching its peak when it began appearing as a character in videos of the Yugi-tuber Rada of the channel Rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh!, who by the way was also the one who first coined the term Morbin Time. Known for incorporating off-the-wall skits into videos, Rada helped in better personifying this iconic shape.
No back talk or you get the rod. Off you go.
And of course with this monster would eventually come the meme deck. I would argue that Shapesnatch is one of those monsters that is genuinely bad. However, a deck never consists of only one card. This is the Shape Snatch OTK. First, we need to special summon Shapesnatch onto the field. Typically, cards like Mystic Tomato and Ancient Rules were reliable ways of doing this. Then, when it's summoned, you can chain Inferno Reckless Summon, which allows you to special summon 2 more copies of a monster with 1500 or less attack straight from the deck. Now that you've got these 3 boys on the field, you can activate Delta Attacker, which can only be activated if you control 3 normal monsters with the same name, and it allows all 3 of them to attack directly for this turn. Now comes Limiter Removal, which doubles the attack of all machine monsters until the end phase, bringing the boys to 2,400 attack points each. Attacking with all 3 will inflict 7,200 damage. Then in main phase 2 you need only inflict
800 damage,
which you can do by normal summon a Cannon Soldier and tributing 2 Shape Snatches, or by overlaying 2 of these Shape Snatches into a Volcasaurus and then destroying one of your opponent's monsters and burning them for the remaining damage. Of course there are some other variations, but that was one of the classic combos. Though the Volcasaurus was in later years, a lot of the earlier builds would just rely on Cannon Soldier. This OTK requires a very specific setup, but I mean people have pulled it off through hard work and dedication. Like I said before, I don't really see a lot of Shapesnatch memes nowadays. I guess really what more can you do with a bad monster? I am genuinely surprised that the memes haven't made their way to Konami for them to make a new version of this monster just for the laughs. I mean the same thing happened to Scroll Servants way back in the day and somehow it eventually became an entire archetype. I guess a funny level 1 skeleton is more marketable than a level 5 bow tie with a Cyclops. As we've gotten more cards and as the community has grown, I think it's easier to make jokes and memes about either the new weird monsters that we get, or the actual good ones that see a lot of play. Or, you know, the waifu ones.
She's 16!
There's just something about looking back at the times when we all thought that Shapesnatch was the funniest thing possible. So let me know what you think about this absolute abomination of a card in the comments below. Anyway, this is GatorX, thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you all later.